मैं राजवीर सिंह शोरान, एसोसिएट प्रोफेसर इन केमिस्ट्री, SRR मोनार्का गवर्नमेंट PG कॉलेज झुंझुनू। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, गुड आफ्टरनून टू ऑल द स्टूडेंट्स ऑफ MSc फाइनल केमिस्ट्री। पिछले कंटेंट में हमने आपके MSc फाइनल का पेपर सेकंड जो है बायो इनऑर्गेनिक, बायो ऑर्गेनिक, बायो फिजिकल केमिस्ट्री के अंदर अपन ने जो डिस्कस किया था वो यूनिट सेकंड चल रही थी। सेकंड के अंदर एंजाइम वाला टॉपिक जो है उसको अपन ने स्टार्ट कर रखा था। इसके अंदर अपन ने वी डिस्कस्ड अबाउट द रिमार्केबल प्रॉपर्टीज ऑफ द एंजाइम्स लाइक कैटालिटिक पावर, specificity and regulation, nomenclature and classification of enzymes, etc. So today we will start the same unit, we will continue the same unit, second, enzymes. In this today we will discuss extraction and purification of enzymes. Means how enzymes are extracted and purified. So there are some methods for purification and how these enzymes are extracted. We will discuss today about this. Next, we will also discuss today Fisher's lock and key method and Coastland's induced fit hypothesis of the enzymes. So, in extraction and purification of enzymes, availability cost of starting material is of prime importance. Concentration of a single enzyme may vary in different tissues. It is important to choose tissues in which the enzyme is in high concentration. For this, great yeast, bacteria and fungi have certain advantage as source material. Advantage is that these cells may be cultivated under conditions favorable for the production of enzymes in question. There is, however, one disadvantage of difficulty in obtaining large quantities of microbial cells other than yeast. Once starting material has been selected, a series of steps can be performed over that to exact extraction and isolation of enzymes. A few specific examples of certain methods we will discuss one by one. So first method is sedimentation. Sedimentation. If liver tissue is homogenized, as in Porter Alvingem apparatus as shown in figure, rather than common blending device, many of mitochondrial and other cells bodies remains intact. They are easily sedimented out of solution, and with them we goes a repository of enzymes. Physical separation by sedimentation is of practical utility only in initial phase of separation. Second is extraction. Suppose earlier a classification of enzymes was in two main classes, soluble or bound of, means dismonized enzymes. This is a poor classification because there is probability those enzymes for which proper method of solutions have yet not been discovered. So this method is something like not so We will discuss the next method, third, the salt fractionation. Ammonium sulfate is most useful salt in enzyme fraction. Its advantages are it is highly soluble in water, for example 760 grams per liter, and a roughly neutral reaction pH 5 to 6 in concentration solution. Dioxane developed a monogram chart for the preparation of ammonium sulfate solution, and units against gave an equation for calculating the ammonium sulfate to be added to a solution to give the desired final concentration. One disadvantage is that the ammonium sulfate is slightly alkaline solution is that even at pH 9.3, 50% of the ammonium ions are converted into ammonia. So the pH of the ammonium sulfate solution should be controlled by means of buffer. So the next method is solvent fractionation. Water miscible solvents like acetone, ethanol, methanol and dioxane help in the isolation of enzymes. In acetone extraction, one soluble starts below 0 degree centigrade and then proceed towards high temperature. Fraction is done up to highest temporary temperature that will not cause much yield loss. So, ethanol has found increasing applications in the isolation of enzymes. It has been used to obtain crystalline lactic dehydrogenase from rat liver. Fifth method, solvent metal ion fractionation. An important method for the separation of blood protein is by the combination of metal ions and solvent, particularly Zn2 plus and ethanol. The zinc salt of proteins are often more soluble than the sodium and potassium salts and separate more easily from the solution from these. Metal ions may be removed by the treatment with citrate, ethylene diamine tetraacetate or ion exchange resin. Next method is adsorption. A variety of substances have been used as protein adsorbents. One of the earliest preparation is hydrated aluminum oxide, calcium phosphate. Gel has also proved very useful, and bentonite has been employed in the isolation of lysine. Now adsorption chromatography. Column chromatography, an adsorbent, is very effective for the separation of proteins and hence for enzymes also. Angry prepared calcium phosphate gel. This same adsorbent has been critically examined by Swingle and Tiselius for general protein chromatography. Gijmeister has published a review on general subject of enzyme chromatography. In another approach, using biochemically specific adsorbent, isolation of enzymes depends upon its catalytic specificity rather than on its general properties as protein. For instance, the isolation of mushrooms, tyrosinase, various adsorbs containing para-azophenol and related groups were prepared from aromatic ethers of cellulose. Next is ion exchange chromatography. The brilliant success of this method is the isolation of low molecular weight compounds such as amino acids. Means we can use sulfonylic acid cation exchanger, carboxylic acid as cation exchanger. We can also use quaternary amine anion exchanger or tertiary amine anion exchanger. Similarly, cytochrome C was purified in 1950 by the passage through a column of embryos IRC 50. Next, complex formation. In this procedure, protamine has been used to a lesser extent as complexing agent. Some enzymes, muscles, lactic dehydrogenase were isolated as the inactive mercury salts Reactivation was achieved by dialysis against cysteine or potassium cyanide. Basic lead acetate has been employed to throw down and undesired proteins. Denaturation reactions, you can use dialysis. Last, you can take preparative electrophoresis. In these, large cells are containing up to 100 ml may be used with especially electrodes in the electrophoretic apparatus. Methods in which components are completely separated has been designated as zone electrophoresis, as shown in the following figure, where in this figure we mean two jars. B means for buffer compartment with buffers, E is platinum electrode, W is filter paper wicks, P is pressure equalizing tube, M is medium such as stars, strong rubber, T stands for sample. This novel technique developed by Colin is work mentioning here. The electrophoresis convection apparatus Kirkwood may be used for separating less complex mixtures. Electrophoresis convection may be regarded as refinement of the process of electrode kination as illustrated below. In this diagram, protein molecules, semi-permeable membranes, a systematic diagram for the electrophoresis convection apparatus. Here, what do you mean by purification means? What is purification means? Criteria of purity. So, the measure of the past and present industrial usage of enzymes has been with crude preparations. However, many of the use of immobilized enzymes require highly purified forms. Techniques for the large-scale initial isolation and partial purification of enzymes from microbial plants and animals. So, final purification enzymes is tedious task, be it in the laboratory or in the industrial plants with chromatographic methods in preponderance. Gel permeation chromatography and affinity chromatography holds very high promise for simplifying the purification of enzymes. Now, our next topic is Fisher's log and key hypothesis. As we know, enzymes are highly specific, therefore, the reasonable question is what is their mechanism of action? According to Arrhenius, enzymes catalyzes the reaction through a formation of unstable intermediate. Simple model to explain enzymatic action is lock and key model proposed by Fisher. This model assumes that enzyme is rigid 3D dimensional body, the surface of which has active sites which has a slot of fitting definite substrates as in the particular Fisher log diagram 3.9. Lock and key model of enzyme action. So we take enzyme and substrate A plus substrate B. So enzyme substrate A complex is formed with is attached with substrate B. So an enzyme molecule is very large, consisting of 100 to 200 amino acid residues, but the active site which combines with substrate have definite shape. This substrate can fix are comparatively small with a few amino acids residue. Amino acids are active sites located at different places in the chain, whereas other amino acids which are not part of active sites are located in definite sequence. This is because of the fact that this sequence allows the whole enzyme molecule to fold in exactly required manner. A hypothetical example of mechanism of enzyme action is given in the above figure. This is referred as lock and key mechanism. Here we contain enzyme plus substrate. This gives rise to enzyme substrate, and then again the enzyme is released and can be used over and over again. ES enzyme substrate gives again E plus product. The lock and key model explains the action of many enzymes but of the other enzymes. So, Coastlands induced fit hypothesis. This model was also given by Coastland in 1966. In the Fisher's model, lock and key model, the active site is presumed to be precept to fit the substrate in the induced fit theory. The substrate induced a conformational change in, like this, figure 3.10, we can see lies and HS. This give rise to lies like substrate and HS in the product. So, in this figure, in the absence of substrate, the catalytic and the substrate binding groups are several bond distances removed from one another. When the substrate approaches, there occurs a conformational change in enzyme proteins, aligning the group correctly for the substrate binding for the catalysis. At the same time, there also occurs a change in the partial spatial orientation of the other regions. For example, we see a enzyme plus substrate, path A, we can say enzyme plus minus enzyme plus substrate. So, enzyme substrate complex is formed. Similarly, we can take enzyme plus substrate with path B. This gives rise to enzyme substrate, and with path C, the same product is formed, enzyme substrate. So, in this figure we can discuss, we can see hypothetical representation of alternate pathways of substance induced conformational changes. The main evidence in favor of induced fit model comes from demonstration of conformational changes during substrate binding catalysis with creatine kinase and phosphoglucomutase and several other enzymes. Now, concept and identification of active sites by the use of inhibitors. An enzyme has a distinct cavity or cleft in which the substrate is bound. This cleft contains an active center in which the amino acids are grouped together in such a way as to enable them to combine with substrate. The reactive amino acids may lie widely separated in the polypeptide chain. The chain, however, undergoes folding in such a manner that the reactive amino acids come together in active sites. It is believed that when the substrate molecules binds to the active site, its parts are held together in such a way to cause distortion of chemical bonds. That is, the bonds are weakened. This distortion of chemical bonds of substrate increases its reactivity and thus speeds up the rate of reaction. The product of reactions are released because they are firmly bound. This mechanism is called strain model of catalysis. Inhibitors are compounds which decreases the rate of enzyme catalyzed reactions. Inhibitions is diagrammatically shown below. Enzyme plus we take inhibitor, then it gives rise to enzyme inhibitor complex. Inhibitors are of two types, irreversible and reversible inhibitors. Irreversible inhibitors helps in the identification of active sites. Actually, irreversible inhibitations involves the covalent bonding of inhibitors to a functional group at the active site of or elsewhere on the enzyme. Because progressively declining irreversible inhibition cannot be analyzed by Michaelis-Menten kinetics. This type of inhibition is frequently used to obtain information regarding the functional amino acids at the active sites of the enzymes too. Irreversible inhibitors include some of the pesticides. For example, parathiones is an active inhibitor of insect acetylcholine stresses upon which normal propagation of nervous impulses release. Since inhibition is irreversible, in which the substrate in the catalytic cycle is converted into a chemically reactive product which remains bound to active site through covalently bonded. The enzymes is rendered permanently inactive and the identification of active site is done on the basis of its reaction with inhibitor. So we have completed 2 to 3 topics today in e content. So next tomorrow we will also continue the same topic, same unit enzymes continuously. Thank you all of you.